Who would have thought that two personality types who seem so similar could be so different? Yes, they share 3 of 4 personality preferences, but in this case, it doesn't mean anything. In a world where every personality type profile is overanalyzed and overinterpreted, it's easy to end up feeling like there's no way we all can't be the same. But the INTP and INFP are actually pretty different. Sure, they both prefer peace, contemplation, and quiet, but when you look deeper, you'll see that they stand in stark contrast to each other and most other types. Today I'm talking about 7 huge differences between INTP and INFP personalities. Be sure to watch until the end of today's video. I'm clearing the air, getting rid of all misconceptions and showcasing just how different these two personality types really are. Let's get into it. Welcome to Success for Breakfast, where I'm serving up brain food made simple. Hit that subscribe button to get the latest videos created to give you the tools to level up your life. Starting things off for me today is INTP and INFP think and feel in totally different ways. On the surface, INTPs and INFPs have a lot in common. Both types value relationships, like to think things through carefully, and dislike conflict. But their thought processes are vastly different. INTPs are more logical and factual, while INFPs are more intuitive and focused on feelings. INTPs spend a lot of time thinking about how things work, what's known, and what's factual. They want to make sense of the world and like to get to the root of things. This is because of their dominant cognitive function of introverted thinking. INTPs are very interested in exploring theories and solving problems, which is why they often make great scientists and engineers. They're also great at seeing patterns in things and are often described as seeing connections. INFPs, on the other hand, are less interested in theories and facts. They want to know why things are the way they are and are more focused on exploring feelings and emotions. While INTPs are content with what they know, INFPs want to know why. They want to understand the meaning behind things and are often described as seeing things in a larger context. This is because of their dominant cognitive function of introverted feeling. INFPs aren't interested in the details of things. They want to know the meaning behind everything, even the small things. They want to know why people act the way they do and what emotions are behind those actions. This makes me want to ask you, do you make decisions based on your heart or your mind? Next up, in number 6 today, is an INTP's resistance to change versus an INFP's flexibility. INTPs are known for their deep, complex thought processes and can be very difficult to change. They see things in a logical, rational way and tend to be very set in their ways. This can make them resistant to new ideas and changes, which can cause them a lot of stress. INTPs also have a hard time taking criticism well. It can be easy for them to interpret criticism as a personal attack and cause them to become defensive. While this makes it difficult for them to change, it doesn't mean that they can't learn how to do so. If they're willing to put in a little effort, INTPs can learn how to adapt and modify their behavior when necessary. Just remember that it may take some time for them to get there, so being patient is key. On the other hand, INFPs are likely to be flexible and adaptable. They are open to new ideas and are comfortable in changing environments. Also, they are more at ease with uncertainty than an INTP. This may make it easier for them to take on tasks with uncertain outcomes. It's also important to remember that flexibility doesn't necessarily mean adaptability. Having the capacity to change is often a good thing, but not always. So while INFPs are great at adapting, they may not be as good at building a rigid structure for themselves over time. Starting my top 5 today is that INTPs are cynical, while INFPs are idealistic. INTPs are often cynical, skeptical, and pessimistic, while INFPs are idealistic, hopeful, and optimistic. INTPs aren't interested in being positive or optimistic. They're interested in seeing things as they are and aren't interested in rose-colored glasses or happy endings. They want to know what the facts are and dislike being overly positive and optimistic. INFPs, on the other hand, are often dreamy and full of hope. They may live in a fantasy world or a fictional one. They want to believe that things will be okay and are interested in finding meaning and magic in the world around them. For example, if an INFP is locked in an elevator, they would probably be like, I know I'm stuck, but I can sit down and relax for a moment. INTPs are often turned off by INFPs' overly positive attitude and dislike of facts and hard data. INFPs, on the other hand, find INTPs' focus on facts and negativity too cold and impersonal. INTPs don't want to believe that things will be okay, but rather want to know what the facts are so they can figure out how things will play out. They're not interested in being overly optimistic and don't like people being overly positive when there are facts that show things won't work out. If you're going to tell an INTP that everything will be okay, they'll probably just roll their eyes. If you've gotten some value from this video so far, please show your appreciation by hitting that like button. That signals to YouTube that you think other people could benefit from this video too. Number 4 on my list today is that they're very different personalities under stress. INFPs are often drawn to the idea of compassion and understanding. When they are under stress, however, they may begin to feel a strong need to do something about it. This can lead them to become workaholics who spend all day trying to help others. They may even end up neglecting their own needs. Being a workaholic can be a symptom of depression or anxiety, but it's also possible that INFPs simply become overwhelmed by the demands of their lives. On the other hand, whatever the cause, stress can have a negative impact on an INTP's emotional health and mental well-being. This can cause them to become emotionally unstable or reactive. They may get very upset quite easily or feel angry, frustrated, or resentful. They can become irritable with others or have poor communication skills. All of these emotions are normal when they are under stress, but they can still be difficult to deal with, and it does take a toll on their relationships. For example, when they are guided by their disturbing emotions, INTPs will shut themselves off and isolate themselves from people, and it becomes a challenge to pull them back into the real world. Kicking off today's top 3 is their differences in compatibility and understanding. INTPs and INFPs are similar in certain ways, but they behave in quite separate worlds. As I've mentioned, INTPs are fascinated by facts, data, and getting to the bottom of problems. They want explanations and reject things that don't make sense. Whereas INFPs are interested in feelings and emotions and want to understand the meaning behind things. They are often focused on finding connections and patterns in everything. These two types are so different that it'll be hard for an INTP to understand an INFP and vice versa. INTPs may not understand INFPs' focus on feelings and emotions, and INFPs may not understand INTPs' desire to have explanations for everything. INTPs may think INFPs are overly emotional and not logical enough, while INFPs may think INTPs are too cold and analytical. No, I'm not saying that the two personality types are not compatible. What I'm saying is that they are different. If they focus on the positive aspects of each other, they can end up complementing each other. These two personality types could become best friends or even life partners. Are you an INTP or an INFP? What are your thoughts on these huge differences between the two personality types? Be sure to leave a comment and tell me your thoughts and opinions. In the runner-up spot is an INFP's fear of self-sabotage versus an INTP's fear of incompetence. The INTP and INFP share a lot of core personality preferences. They both tend to be introspective, analytical, and independent. But there are some important differences between the two types that can cause conflict in their relationships. An INFP is more likely to have a fear of self-sabotage. This fear can manifest in a number of ways, from pushing themselves too hard to putting themselves down. As a result, the INFP may feel less confident than their friends or loved ones might expect. An INFP may also manifest their self-sabotaging when they miss out on opportunities. A great big opportunity could be knocking and waiting on their door, but the INFP just won't open it. The INTP, on the other hand, may struggle with feeling incompetent. They may feel like they don't know enough or that they're not good at anything. This can make them reluctant to make decisions or try new things because they don't want to look bad. They feel like it's better to avoid things instead of feeling like a failure. They struggle to believe in their talents and avoid situations where they think they will fail miserably, which really holds them back the majority of the time. Topping my list, and the number one huge difference between INTP and INFP, is an INTP's versus an INFP's relationships and commitment. One of the most important differences between INTP and INFP is their approach to relationships. INTPs enjoy being alone or spending time with just one person. They would prefer to have a night in with their partner and watch a movie with some popcorn and cold drinks, or simply want to tuck into bed after a long shower and sleep. If you want to impress an INTP, take them out on a date in a quiet place where you can both talk peacefully without interruption, and they will absolutely love it. On the contrary, INFPs often like to be involved in multiple relationships at once. They may want to test out different relationships. This can make it difficult for them to commit fully to a single partner, and this is why sometimes they struggle with having long-term and meaningful relationships. In addition, both personalities tend to be more introverted than extroverted. This means that they might feel uncomfortable around large groups of people, even if they enjoy being around close friends and family members. If you invite either of these personality types to something, make sure to include a couple of their close friends as well, and they will have a wonderful time. Whichever personality type you are, one thing is for certain: you both share the fact that both INTPs and INFPs are prone to being unconventional and out of the ordinary. Both types are deeply concerned with remaining true to themselves, their own ideas, interests, beliefs, and methods, rather than conforming to the environment and what others think. This is just one of the many exceptional strengths that each personality type has compared to everyone else. These videos take an exclusive look at your incredibly unique advantages in life above others, and how you can utilize and maximize them.